Hello there. Happy Monday. Happy Monday.
What's going on? What's going on, Facebook family?
Happy to see everybody. We want to welcome you guys to the Millennial Power Couple Show, where our topic is going to be which is harder, marriage or, drumroll please, entrepreneurship. So we're super excited for you guys to join us, and we are going to try to Facebook Live in another fantastic couple who's definitely going to shed some light on the topic that we have on the table. So, marriage is a commitment between two people who decide that, hey, for the rest of my life, I want to be with you. And entrepreneurship, well, it's also the willingness to, want to organize and want to manage a couple. So I'm super excited. Let's see if we can go ahead and chime in this couple. Let's see. Let's in. Listen, I want to know, because you guys are an entrepreneur, are in the entrepreneurial world, I want to know, how did you guys first decide that you wanted to be entrepreneurs?
For me, it was a hobby turned business. I've been promoting and throwing events since I was. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I hear you perfect.
Baby, they can see me up front. Yeah, I've been promoting and throwing events since I was in middle school. I didn't know what promoting mean. I didn't know anything about that. It was just, I was a neighborhood dude that had a house, that had a basement that was open, and that my mom, let me go ahead and do my thing. And then once I got to college, one of my homeboys was a DJ, and he knew about the parties I threw, and he was like, man, you should go ahead and do it. Everybody knows you, X, Y, and Z. So it was like, all right, well, what I do? So I made up a little paper flyer and started passing it out and just started going after and telling people to come to a place, and started knowing the ropes from there, like paying for the spots, knowing, the set prices, to try to make money and, get people to come out. So, and I'm here now, 10 years later, still doing it.
Wow, 10 years. Straight, Was it while you were in college?
Well, I mean, I've been doing it longer than 10 years, but I started my company 10 years ago when I was in college.
Wow, 10 years strong. And then, Alexis, what about you? When did you start in the entrepreneurship world?
I started my business in 2012. I was working. I was in Dayton, Ohio. And I started styling in 2012. And then I actually started sewing in 2015. So my sewing business has been going strong since 2015, so 3 years now. So I got the veteran right here who be giving me all all the pros and cons of business and what I need to be doing and things like that. But for me, I didn't like wake up and was like, oh my God, I want to start a business. Like, especially not sewing. Like for styling, I was trying to research and I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do. I knew I wanted to do something in fashion, but I just didn't know what. So I was watching TV one day. Personal stylist came up. I'm like, oh my God, I like fashion. I can shop for people and spend their money. I can do this. And then I started sewing once I had my baby, my first son. I started doing bow ties. And then my friends pushed me into doing skirts. And I did a skirt, and it was like the world was waiting, or people who know me was waiting on me to do fashion. So I started doing that, and then it just kind of took off. So I didn't plan to be a seamstress or a designer. Like, that business just took off. I planned to do the styling, but the designing, no. Didn't even know that was about to be a business.
Yeah,
wow, so you're talking about 3 years
personal
strong.
shopper and
yeah, but you got, like you said, you got the blueprint right there.
Right. I got the blueprint and I got the investor all right here, all in one.
So I'm Sheree Alexis.
Huh?
I am Sheree Alexis.
Yeah, so that's amazing. Y'all doing big stuff. Also in Columbus. So I have a question though. When it comes to entrepreneurship, we all know that it was risk involved. So the question that I want to ask y'all as a couple, being both of y'all being entrepreneurs, what were some of the risks that you guys had to take together as a couple, and how was y'all able to overcome those risks?
You want to start?
Mostly just sacrificing our time. It's because with our businesses, we take a lot of time from our family. So we got 2 little boys now. So like before, when it was just, me and him, and he's doing his parties and stuff like that, I was able to go with him, So it's like, okay, I might go with you this time, I might not. But once we started a family, and then I started my business as well, I started to understand the whole thing of entrepreneurship and having your own business and things like that. So mostly it's time, and then I'll say like finances, like our financial. So I'll say like finances and time, because he takes a lot of risk when it comes to putting on parties, because at the end of the day, you just don't know if people gonna show, if they're gonna sell tickets, if they're gonna do this. Now he's been successful, like, you win and you lose with the promotion, stuff like that. So with that, our kids are coming. Just 1 second. They coming, we can hear them.
Also, y'all, we got to shout out Tabitha Easter for giving us the tip.
Shout out to you, Tabitha. You the real MVP.
You the real MVP on that.
Thanks, Tabitha. But yeah, because this is perfect. But yeah, so I think most of it is just our risk. The risk are just time and finances. That's it. They are a beautiful couple. Yes, they are a beautiful couple.
Awesome.
Reading the comments.
So we're gonna go ahead with the next question as well. So we all know that, especially being a married couple, being an entrepreneur as well, definitely you guys gonna have to support each other in order to have some type of success. So how does that play a factor in y'all marriage, or how important it is for a husband and wife to support each other being in marriage? Because we have a lot of entrepreneurs on the call, and a lot of people want to know, how do you handle that when being supportive as a union in entrepreneurship?
So what I've learned is I have like my big sister, my sorority sister, she's married, and she always tells me, like, you have to keep learning about your spouse, and you always have to learn about your spouse. So for us, we just try to pour into each other's businesses. So like with my sewing, and I ask him, like, hey, I need help trying to figure out what's my, like, where I should move this money, how I should do this. So he's helping me more, like he's putting more into my business and helping me and teaching me some of the things he knows as far as business. And then for me, I just try to stay like active as far as like learning more about his business. So like yesterday he was teaching me how to make flyers. So I just try to find something that he's interested in, that even if I'm not interested in it, I just want to sit with him so we can spend some time together. So then that way I'll start to learn what he's doing, and then he'll be more interested in what I'm doing. Like, because sometimes I'll be sewing, he'll come down there and say, well, babe, can't you just put this piece with this? And I'm like, you don't even, but the fact that he's coming down there to try to understand what I'm doing, that gets us closer, because then I can explain to him, this is what this sewing machine does. Like he doesn't like the sewing machine, so I made him sit down and sew one day. So like we just try to keep each other engaged. Out, okay. But you're not in the camera. Look at yourself,
babe. I mean, I'm just saying, you got this little phone, big guy.
I mean, babe, you always showing out. He always show out when we get company all the time.
Phone, okay,
all the time. But they just said, what do we do for in our businesses to keep each other like engaged, basically?
Well, what she does for me is she just like, no, babe, you gotta go do it. Or she's like my go-to person with, like, babe, what does this sound like? How you think I should do this? And then like sometimes I can get flustered with things, and she'll tell me which way to go about it. And of course she's good with all my grammar corrections, because sometimes I just be saying stuff. Amen. Like sometimes when we talk and we put it down, we type it the same way we talk. Like, babe, you're not supposed to put that like that. I'm like, well, all right, listen, I'm just trying to hurry up and get it out. Okay, I'm on a time crunch, so I need to hurry up and get it out. So, so yeah, sometimes I'll think of something, I'll send it to her like, what is this? And she'll put her spin on it, and help me out with that. And I know we left on with the was it sacrifice?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Was that what? That's what I was thinking was on me. No, when she was saying
Oh, before you went to go get the kids?
Yeah, before I went to get your boys, because they.
Well, you know what? I like how you said, like, Sheree, you said a mouthful right there where you said something that was key. You said, I become interested in the things that he is interested in. And vice versa. Like, that's super important to make sure that as husband and wife, you guys understand. It may not be like 100% totally what you love, but you understand that your spouse loves that and your spouse enjoys it. So you try to make sure you show up and you try to make sure you're around with whatever they have their hands on. And that's super important.
Yeah.
And I think that's what a lot of marital rips can kind of come into play when there's a spouse who is uninterested or a spouse that does not care, like, oh, that's her thing. That's how I'm gonna let her do it. But really, you know, to show interest and to show that you care and to show that you're rooting them on, you gotta be there. You gotta show up to glow up.
Yeah,
to glow up.
because that's how it was before, though. Like, I would be like, oh, that's his thing. He's a promoter. I don't do the whole promoting thing. But once I start getting interested, I'm like, hey, I can help you, because he does a lot. When it comes to this promotion, he does a lot. He works a full-time job, and then he does promotion as well. So for me, I just sew full-time. So I just started like, hey, I can help you with this. Trying to just take some weight off of him. And then that started helping our relationship, because when you feel like you stressed all the time because you got to work, then you're doing more work, and then you come home, then you're being a dad, then you're being a husband, it's just like so much stress on him. But for me, like, I'm just trying, like, okay, well, if you need me to do this, just let me know. So the fact that he knows I'm there, I feel like that helps him and lifts some of the weight off his shoulders. So that's just my goal. Like, I'm just trying to be a better wife, you know, every day. You know what I'm saying? In all aspects.
So this is. Oh, you want to say something, Ralph?
What you about to say?
No, I was just saying, because with sewing, I mean, the position I play on that is just where I'm at, because I'm not, them machines.
I told him, I made you
sewing. You know, we let them do all the talking. We just sit back and kind of clean everything up. You know?
Yeah, I'm the setup guy. I'll go out there, and when she do her little shows, I'll set up everything up, and that's what I do. I'm on the logistics crew. That's it.
So this definitely got a couple more questions for you guys. One of the big questions that a lot of people want to know. So which one is harder, entrepreneurship or a marriage? So we really want to hear y'all perspective on that, because we all know that sometimes having a successful marriage can be, I'm not going to say hard, it can be challenging. And also being an entrepreneur, it can be challenging as well. So we want to ask you guys that question, and there's a lot of people out there want to hear your perspective on it as well. So
I go.
You go.
He doesn't think marriage is hard. Like, he don't think marriage is hard. He think marriage is easy. He just feel like, I come in the house, I'm the husband, I'm the dad, I take care of everything, it's cool. For me, I don't feel like it's hard, but I do think it's constant communication, it's constant exploring, it's constant, like, I just feel like with any relationship, you have to work for it. That's just like having like one of your girlfriends or one of your guy friends. Like, if you don't call that girl, she not going to call you. If you don't call your guy or your bro, he not going to call you, you know? So I just feel like with us, I'm learning that it's like a push and a pull. Like, we have to keep giving to each other so that we can keep learning each other, because every day he's going to do something different. I'm going to do something different. I might think something different on a Monday. And if he don't know what I'm thinking, you know, so it's like constant communication, constant learning each other, definitely being evenly yoked in God. But for me, I think entrepreneurship and marriage, I think it goes hand in hand, because even in your business, you have to keep learning, you have to keep growing. And I think that's the same when it comes to marriage. Like, and you have to keep like researching and finding new things, because as we get older, we start to be different people sometimes. So you have to constantly keep growing with your spouse and trying to keep figuring out, okay, like, what's new today? Like, how can we be more connected today? And I mean, I'm not saying it's going to be perfect, but I am saying that you have to put in the work when it comes to both. Because if you don't work your business, it's not going to work for you. And if you don't work your marriage, it's not going to work for you.
Yeah. I mean, you said my bit. I mean, I just think it's second nature, man. If it's something that you enjoy doing when it comes to marriage, I just don't think it's as hard. You know what I mean? Like, if we've been with each other for a long time, I don't think marriage is hard. Like I said, the business with doing what I'm doing is, like she said, it's constant. It's all the time. It's nonstop. Like tonight, I got to knock out about 3 or 4 flyers.
Yeah.
On top of making sure that she got me on the boys' duty, so I got to put them in the tub and do all that stuff while she cooked. So I got to make sure I knock that out. At least that's what she told me. But I think I'm going to sit right here at the computer.
And look, happy wife, happy life, right?
Right.
Yeah. Can a husband get something? If they got a little same for us, what we get? Nothing?
No.
To add to the amazing tip that you guys have already shared with us, you guys shared your business. You guys talked about the risk, the importance of balancing marriage and entrepreneurship and finding time for each other. I consider you guys an amazing power couple, and I know a lot of people, friends, family, strangers, definitely think the same as well. What is some marital advice that you will give to those who are listening to the call, who are possibly either about to be married, who are interested in marriage, or who may be even having struggles in a marriage? Because let's be real, that happens in marriages. Yeah. So what do you think are 3 important factors that need to be a part of the marriage formula in order for it to be healthy, successful, and positive?
Happy husband, less fussing.
There you go. Happy husband, less fussing. Thanks, Tonio.
I would say God, communication, and what was the other one? God, communication, and compromise.
God, communication, and compromise. Communication is definitely key. A huge key factor.
Because communication can break the whole marriage down. Yeah. So definitely communication. Yeah.
Ralph, would you say the same 3? What would you say?
Yeah. We was talking about it the other day. And,
you said balance too.
I did say balance. One thing also that I will say, I know you said 3, but it's transparency. Because I mean, as a man, us as men, we find it hard to open up. You know what I mean? It's like, well, I'm a man. I got to go ahead and take it on the chin. I got to do these things. But it's okay to be vulnerable with your wife. I mean, that's what she's there for. She is there to be your rock just as much as you're supposed to be the rock of the family and all. But it's like I said, for me, it was hard because like a lot of my family out there, they know that I'm like the rock of my family. So I'm used to being that hard, neutral being, you know what I'm saying? So when I'm with my wife, I mean, I feel like, well, I'm supposed to be like that. So like I said, I mean, I'm not crying or nothing, but I mean, sometimes I do be feeling like, hey, man, this tough. This tough. You know what I mean? But like I said, I think being transparent is definitely key, and will help a lot of people with doing that.
Awesome. But definitely, we definitely appreciate you guys' time. Since y'all took the time out to hop on our show, and we definitely appreciate y'all perspective. We wanted to give you guys a gift. We want to mail this to you. It's a book. So the book is The Magic of Thinking Big.
Oh, thank you.
You know, 'cause we know y'all entrepreneurs, and like definitely, me and Portia actually read this book. We love it, and definitely, we feel that y'all can get some value from it. So we're gonna send that to y'all. That's our token of love. So appreciate y'all for hopping on the show.
Thank you.
That's right.
Thank you.
Listen, if you are a power couple yourself, tag them here. If you know other power couples, tag them here, because we want to make sure we share all the power couple love and perspective. And then Alexis and Ralph, tell people how to get in contact with you, your Facebook, your Instagram, and your website.
So my Facebook is Cherie Alexis. My Instagram is Cherie Alexis. My website is CherieAlexis.com. My email is CherieAlexis@gmail.com. And that's ShereeAlexis. That's all across the board. My Twitter is Cherie Alexis. So CherieAlexis.com, Cherie Alexis, IG. Our baby's upstairs crying.
They go crazy. Mine, of course, is Ralph Carter on Facebook, on Instagram and Twitter. It's my business is the Finest ENT. That's with the underscores between all the words. And also My personal one, Twitter, is Mr. Get No Sleep, and also is my IG name is Mr. Get No Sleep, and that's also with underscores between all the words.
We'll put it in the comments too.
Yeah.
Hey.
So I try to balance between personal and business when it comes to all the pages, because you know I got a lot of people that follow me. I can't have my babies on there.
Yeah.
Hey, super important. Right? So guys, super excited. We thank you guys again for taking the time.
Thank you. I'm so happy it worked out.
Yes, so happy it worked
Yes.
out.